but I would like to take you live now into Pathways itself so you can see. So the first thing you need to do when you come into Pathways is log in. And if you haven't logged in, then please do so. And you'll notice when you log in that if you're forgetting your password, there is an option to reset your password. Now, to get to Pathways, as you can see, I'm already looking at it, but you can get to it another way. And that is simply by clicking on your own name, like I'm doing here. And depending on the speed of this, will take me in here. Now, when you come into here, if you are a member of more than one club, as I am, then you will see that you get this option to select the club that you belong to. This is also very useful, this page, because it shows you all the details about you. And if you want to find out about your own educational awards, it logs all the awards that you have. It logs all the offices that you've held, anything that you've bought from Toastmasters. It shows you your membership history. If you subscribe to the magazine, this is very useful, and a lot of people don't know anything about it. After today, if you want to know about Pathways in great detail, we've got this thing called the Navigator, and you will notice that you can see it in French if you want to. So you can go and take a look at that. It's about 50 pages long. It's very detailed, and it will give you lots of different screenshots, lots of information. If you haven't chosen a path, or you want to choose another path, you can click onto this and you can go and choose another path. But I'm not. I'm going to go straight into Basecamp. Now, when you come into this location, you can do what I normally do, is I bypass all this stuff, but I'll go through it with you in a moment. But what I normally do is I go straight down to the different education program I'm working on. This is the important bit, my education transcript. That's the bit you want. Either I'm working in two different paths, so either I'm working in dynamic leadership or I'm working on my French, which is the presentation mastery. But before we go there, you've got this button here. If I click on it, this is another lot of material. This is just useful for finding out about how to get around Pathways. Again, tons of information if you want to go and take a look at it. This button here is the same as going there. There is a difference, but when you come into here, this is the important bit up the top here. It takes you to that e-portfolio, which I was telling you about. And this is where, remember I was telling you about the uploaded documents. So yeah, I've uploaded one file into level 4. And here I've got 6 badges so far. And these are the badges that I've got. And every time you complete a level, you get a badge. Now going back, you can get to the badges again either that way or that way. This area allows us, and I have never used it, so this is something that we could explore, is that you could request someone to give you some feedback. I've not actually seen it in action, so I can't tell you much more than that. You know the time when I will say to Steve, I'm going to evaluate you, can I have the evaluation form? And he says, I can't find it. Well, if you go into this location here, you can find all the evaluation forms for every single pathway and every single project within them. It's all a matter of taking a look to see which one it is, evaluation and feedback and so on, lessons learned, they're there, and they are downloadable in PDF. And if you open them in Adobe DC, then they become editable, and they have defined locations where you can add all the information that you want. Okay, let's take a look at one of the pathways. And since we're experienced French, let's take a look at presentation mastery. So in here, you can see here are the levels. And once I complete a level, you'll get a green tick. And I'll show you on the other one in a moment. At the top here, It tells you the level you're on. It tells you the percentage that you've completed. It tells you how many things you need to do, and it will not let you pass go until you have done all of them. You can see I've completed my icebreaker in French, and let's go and take a look at it. When I signed in to do my path in French. So that's why everything is written in French. And you must do that at the beginning when you go. I do not know, and I'm not sure whether, if you've already signed up to do it in English, whether you can switch into French. I'm not sure. We'd have to ask Toastmasters whether that can be done. But because I was starting a path from scratch, I chose French. And that's why when I click onto here, you can see everything is written in French. So good for me to learn to speak a little bit of French. Now you can either click onto any of these and you can go directly to the location, or you can start to click through and go to another section like so. You can get a list of all the different components, checklist. This is the summary at the beginning that you click to say, hey, this is how I did. And you can go through that one by one. This is some videos that are in each of these. And you get information by genuine Toastmasters to give you activities. You can download this information here, helping you to plan your speech. And as I go through, there's more information. There's something about timing, organization. So there's a lot of information within here to help you to prepare yourself for your speech. And towards the end, I think it's the next one, you've got this one here. This is the evaluation form that you can download, send to your evaluator, and ask the evaluator to complete it for you. Once you've done that, I'm going to jump into EasySpeak. So I would log into EasySpeak, and I'm going to start from the beginning at EasySpeak. Once I've logged into EasySpeak, I choose the club I'm going to go to. So in this case, I'm going to go to Experience French. And once I'm in here, I can sign up to go to the meeting, like so, or I can request a speech. Now this is the bit where we in Experience French can choose the French modules. So when you click onto here, it says start a new workbook, and as you scroll down, you start to see the French manuals appear. So you choose the pathway in French from here. And once you've done that, like I've already done, there's my one called Maîtrisez vos présentations. And you can see, here I am, I've done my icebreaker. You can see the green tick means that I've completed that speech within the last 6 months. If you see a darker green, it means you've done it over 6 months. The next one shows when I've put myself down to do a new speech. So it shows you that's been requested, when it's been requested. And you remember I've told you about this bit? You can see here, you can see the details. Whoops, I could see the details. You can see the details here in French. So you've got the choice, either go onto Pathways itself to see that information, or if you want a quick overview of it, you can get it directly from here. And that's all within this space here about requesting a speech and requesting the dates. So everything that we normally do in EasySpeak, we will continue to do. You can then, as you're in EasySpeak, you can see how you're getting on with your progress, and then it shows you all the different workbooks you've got. And this is where it gets confusing, is they've done a fantastic job. They've broken down every single path and every single level within that path. You do not need to go through every single one. You follow the criteria back in. If I go back into here, you see what it says up the top here? It says the minimum of 4. As long as you know that you're following the 4 you need to do, then you come in here and you only choose the one that you are working on. You don't need to go and choose every single one of these. And that's what has confused. They've tried to be all things to all people, but you don't need to be all things to all people there. Okay. Okay, I think I've done. There are some things that you should know about. So they have this place on the Toastmasters website called Pathways FAQs, frequently asked questions, where you can find lots of information about pathways. If you ever get stuck, it's a good resource to find out information. And they've also started doing something which we've been asking them to do for ages, which is to put some updates. So we can see that there's a new Basecamp homepage coming. So that's happening next month. So that should be interesting to see what they're actually going to be doing. I have no idea. Hopefully it's going to be good. And what else am I going to show you? Yeah, so back to my icebreaker. Once I completed it, what I did then was it had something called Activate, which you need to click on, and that will allow you then to complete the level. But once you have completed the level, then the next step that belongs to the VP Education in your club. Now, the VP Education has access to a location within Pathways called Basecamp Manager. Now, I don't have access to Basecamp Manager, but the people who do within the club are the president, the vice president of education, and the secretary. Those are the only 3 that can go in here, verify what someone has been doing in terms of their progress. So Odile will have received via the system that I've finished my level 1. She'll come in here and she'll follow the information that's on this page. She will complete it for me, but she has to do, because Toastmasters haven't quite united this with the Club Central system, she has to do another thing. She needs to come into the back end, which is called Club Central, and she needs to go to somewhere called Submit an Education Awards. And this is something only that someone only like the VP Education or the president can do. I can't do this. Okay. So those are the main things. So after today, you're going to say, oh, great, Pedro, I'm going to forget all that. So what I've done is I've created, in French, a resource for you. I've done it in English as well, Giovanni. I haven't done it in Italian, unfortunately, but I've done it I have done it in French, where I've gone onto the web, I've looked for as much information as I possibly can, and I've added it onto this place called OneNote. So this will give you links to these places, which explains everything in French to you. It's got lots of information, a brief introduction, again, all in French. I went to the Nice website, Toastmasters, and found information they had. I found a glossary in French to show the differences in words between French and English. And also I went over to look at how Basecamp Manager in French, so you can have a look at that too. In addition, there's more information is about the paths and the projects, which hopefully will load so that some of them are repeats. This is how to choose the different paths you want to go on. This is a step-by-step how you go through to do that. And then for our new members, when they join, I've downloaded the whole of the icebreaker. This is every single page on the icebreaker. So again, we can give that to our newer members, and they can take a look at what is required whilst they're making up their minds whether they want to join the club or not. There's other media I've put together. So this is the information about getting onto EasySpeak. This is going to be a page we're going to put together for our club. And then I've repeated the icebreaker. For the English speakers, there is even more information that I've put together, a flowchart, resources. There's tons of information here, and I'll share that information with you after this presentation so you can take a look at it all and have good bedtime reading if you like.